So the four instruments were made in different periods of my life. But I thought about who would be the uh, most important rhythm player of the world who can bless my creations.
And I love that you liken it to cooking. Food and Hindustani classical. Welcome to NMACC Culture Conversations. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to welcome three icons onto the show. But before that, I'll tell you the reason why they're here. At the Studio Theatre at the NMACC, on the 9th of March, 8 p.m. showtime, is Chaturang, an extraordinary exchange of innovation and tradition where strings and rhythm come alive in an unforgettable musical experience. Tickets are live now at nmacc.com as well as at bookmyshow.com. Just a little bit about the space before we get into talking to the maestros. The Studio Theatre is an intimate space for cutting-edge performances. It's a 250-seat space, but it features a telescopic seating system that allows quick and easy transformation depending on the needs of the event. And it has soundproofing capabilities, world-class integrated Dolby Atmos surround sound system, and the audience is closer to the performances than ever before. So wonderful that we can accommodate smaller scale as well as medium community events. I'm very pleased to welcome the stalwarts, Taufiq Qureshi. Taufiq bhai, how are you? Nice to meet you again. How are you?
I'm very well, Hrishi K, and it's lovely to meet you again. And really, it's a very honorable honor feeling that I'm coming to NMACC and I'm performing with Debashish Da and Yogesh Bhai. We have very old connections, old relations, and I'm looking forward to this Chaturang performance.
Lovely. Please welcome Grammy nominee Debashish Bhattacharya. Debashish Da, please welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a really a dream come true for me to reunite with Taufiq Bhai. We have a history since 1987.
Wow.
We played together in Kashmir with my guru Pandit Brijbhushan Kabra on Dal Lake.
Oh wow!
I used to stay in Mumbai, Nepean Sea Road, and Taufiq Bhai and myself, we used to play in house from the house. We played different shows since then, and Yogesh Bhai as well. He is. I mean, both of them are a real stalwart at today's Indian classical music and global music. And I'm very happy to come with these two giants at NMACC. It's my first time, but I'm looking forward for this golden opportunity.
I have such wonderful memories of Shimla House. Coming there, even when I started off my career about 2.5 decades ago, I used to be part of All India Radio's Yuvwani service, and I used to come and meet the great man, Ustad Alla Rakha Sahab, with my portable recorder. And then, of course, many interviews of Zakir Bhai and the family year upon year. So I have very fond memories of Shimla House. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And of course, our final guest for today, Yogesh Samsi ji, comes from such a rich gharana. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Hrishi K. Thanks for having me on the meeting. It's great.
Wonderful. Let's start with you, Debashish Da. I want to understand the concept of Chaturang, why you decided that the three of you had to be the right ones to drive this concept.
First of all, the four instruments I have created with somebody else's much bigger than me, with his or her message to create Indian overtone in an acoustic instrument. But my instrument was slide guitar. So the four instruments were made in different periods of my life. But I thought about who would be the most important two rhythm player of the world who can bless my creations, being with me, besides me, and bless my creations, and we can make something much newer from a different horizon. And I just could not think more than a few seconds names came in my mind, Yogesh Bhai and Taufiq Bhai.
Beautiful,
So
beautiful.
this is a very, very, very new idea of presenting music, strings and rhythms together. But since such four instruments, we all decided to name it as Chaturang.
Taufiq Bhai, it's amazing that despite being from the classical music tradition, you took to the African djembe so seamlessly, and now you're really the master of that instrument. Talk to me about your love affair with the African djembe.
So for me, basically, it was very important that I try to find some other medium through which to bring out all that knowledge which I had accumulated from Abbaji. The tabla knowledge that he had given me, because I was always looking for some other elements to define it. And then I was trying it on drums, conga, bongo, dorboka, tumbek. And then one day djembe came in my hand and I realized that I think this is the instrument where I can work. If I work hard, I can definitely transpose. So I started working on it. It took me a time and I'm still working on it. It's work under progress because the tabla is like 400 years old. And I've just started working on it since 98, 99. So it's not been that many years, but I'm trying, and that's how I started. Because Hrishi K, I realized that for me, the A to Z of the tabla was over. A for Alla Rakha, Z for Zakir Hussain. I said, for me, it's done. I need to have something else whereby I can define all this knowledge, because that is the only knowledge which I had. So that's how I kind of branched out into this whole African djembe thing, and I started playing the tabla repertoire on it.
Beautiful. Yogesh ji, he mentioned Abbaji briefly. Your Guruji, Ustad Alla Rakha Sahab, his legacy that you're carrying forward. I'd like you to speak about that, please.
Well, yes, I was fortunate to be blessed with his tutelage, his talim, and being under him so intensively for almost 24 years till he passed, and learned so much from him, as you just heard from Taufiq Bhai. Everything that he learned from the parampara of Punjab Gharana, from his guru Mian Kader Bakhsh Khan Sahab and his grand guru Ustad Zakir Bakhsh Khan Sahab. So brought that knowledge back here, and sadly, after partition, he then faced a situation here when he moved to Bombay and settled here, that he had to think about how to carry on creating and contributing to this gharana. And I consider myself incredibly fortunate to have reached him at a time when he had taken this decision to contribute immensely to this art form and to the tradition of Punjab Gharana, the style of Punjab Gharana especially. And so I couldn't have had it better than this, to have spent 24 years very intensively under him, learning his own creations, his thought process, his philosophy. And along with that, the style of the Punjab Gharana that came to him from his great masters.
You have expanded the possibilities of raga performance with your standalone pieces, with shape, size, sound, string arrangements. I'd like you to talk about that, how these standalone pieces mean so much to you.
So, the history of guitar in India is not very old. During 1930s, the Hawaiian guitar troupe and musicians troupe came to India during British Raj to entertain British and American 30,000 officers staying in Kolkata. That is the entry of Hawaiian guitar in India. But then what they left was, when they left, those officers and this troop, there were a few Hawaiian guitar was lying in the repairing shop. And then Bengali people, they started picking up the Hawaiian guitar to play Tagore songs or Najrul Giti or film songs and also to play the film background with electric Hawaiian guitar. And those were the era before 30 years before I was born. But then I found a lap steel Hawaiian guitar in my household. Before I was 3 years old, my mom gave it to me to play Saregama Padanisa, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the minute clarity of the tone of this instrument. But at the same time, it was a peak time in 60s and 70s when my grand guru, I should say, Ustad Alla Rakha Khan Sahab, Pandit Kishan Maharaj, Gudai Maharaj, along with Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, Vilayat Khan Sahab, and Ali Akbar Khan Sahab. I didn't see Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab to perform, but I saw his contemporary Ustad Amir Khan Sahab to sing in Kolkata. Those nuances of the veena, sitar, sarod, flute, tabla, different style, different bass from the bass drum, different tonality between terket, between dadir dara, all those nuances, I was dreaming to have the reflection on my lap steel guitar, which is a nasal tone 6-string Hawaiian guitar. Every instrument comes from the culture of the land and the geographical position and their environment has their own voice. So I was searching the voice of Indian slide guitar at the age of 13. And at the age of 15, I brought the first amalgamation of strings sets into a one body. I named after many years Chaturangi. But it was not about making a novelty of instruments and to become a legend or a master of all the instruments. It was basically to bring all those tones into different form of slide guitars so that I can actually come close to the heritage of our country's greatest wealth is Indian classical music. So those instruments came. My last instrument was made in 2018. So my instrument is really new one. So that is Pushpa Veena. And before the Anandi, the little small slide ukulele. And then before that, 12-string slide guitar is called Gandharvi. And Chaturangi has been adapted from original shape and size to has gone through many research works and changes. And now what it is to myself, I feel Chaturangi holds the most of the important part of Indian classical tradition of the soundscapes. So that is my journey.
Taufiq bhai, it's a little difficult to even assimilate. It seems like it was yesterday, and I was getting off the stage at the Dome NSCI, the last Shakti show, and Zakir bhai hugged me, and he went onto stage. I have so many memories. But I'm a common man. I can't imagine what you as a family member must be going through. Chaturang is also very special because it's a tribute to Ustad Zakir Hussain on his 74th birthday. His passing was so sudden, but his memory must live on through the music. So talk about the importance of this being on Zakir Bhai's birthday, please.
I don't think they planned it that it should be on Zakir Bhai's birthday, but coincidentally, this concert is happening on his birthday. It was decided that a section of this concert will be a tribute by myself and Yogesh Bhai. Of course, all three of us are paying our tribute to Ustad Ji, Zakir Bhai, and 15 to 20 minutes, which will be dedicated to Zakir Bhai. Yes, Hrishi K, it's quite a shocking thing that he's not there. We still refer to him as is. It just does not come automatically to say was. वो आता ही नहीं है. Zakir Bhai यहाँ, oh he is here, oh he is doing that, oh easy होता है. वो was में हम जा ही नहीं पाते. But one thing I will say, Hrishi K, that Zakir Bhai is one of the biggest sounds that ever came across global world music. his name itself is enough. Wherever, his forget the playing. Whenever his name is taken, people just there's a smile on people's faces. उनकी धड़कनें बढ़ जाती हैं.
क्या बात?
और लोग ऐसे तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाती है सिर्फ नाम से. तो वो नाम ही काफी है. बजाना तो अलग ही बात है उनका. वो क्यों है? क्योंकि वो एक ऐसे इंसान थे जिन्होंने सब कुछ छुआ है. जैसे अभी आपने बताया, आपको स्टेज पे जाने से पहले आपको उन्होंने हक किया. तो ये एक पर्सनलाइज्ड एक जो जाकिर भाई का रिलेशनशिप हर एक इंसान के साथ रहता था. कोई उनको फैन मिलने के लिए भी आया है तो उसको ऐसे मिलते थे कि वो फैन को ऐसा लगता था कि ये तो मेरे लिए ही है. वो कृष्ण भगवान थे. हर एक को लगता था कि ये मेरे लिए है, ये मेरे साथ ही बात कर रहे हैं, ये मुझे ही देख रहे हैं. तो वो एक जाकिर भाई की जो एक बात है वो कमाल है. और बस मैं यही कहना चाहता हूँ कि जाकिर भाई हम सब में है. हर एक इंसान में आपको जाकिर हुसैन दिखेंगे. कोई उनकी तरह बोलता है, कोई उनकी तरह चलता है, किसी के बाल उनके जैसे हैं, किसी के कपड़े उनके जैसे हैं. तो हर एक इंसान में, वो चाहे तबले से कनेक्टेड हो, गाने वाला हो, म्यूजिशियन हो, डांस वाला हो, इंस्ट्रूमेंट वाला हो, या ऐसे ही एक आम आदमी हो, हर एक में एक जाकिर भाई की झलक आपको नजर आएगी. सो he is no more, but he is also there with us always. We will see him everywhere.
What a wonderful thought. What a wonderful thought.
Beautiful.
Yogesh Bhai, your continuing efforts to revive old compositions of both the Punjab tradition as well as the compositions of Pandit Sushil Kumar Jain. We'd like to know a little bit about that, please.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Abbaji taught me so many compositions and so much information from the Punjab Gharana in my talim with him. But there was always, curiosity to know more about this Gharana post-partition. And I had discussed this with Zakir Bhai as well on many occasions. And Zakir Bhai was my inspiration in so many directions, and this was one of them. And he basically guided me through this, and the quest for knowing more about this Gharana, unfortunately we have never been able to cross the border and meet those ustads, meet the generations who came after, but whatever came to this part of the world, to eastern Punjab, I was able to meet a lot of people who learned from various ustads of that generation and the next generation, and whatever filtered through, I could collect, I could accumulate. And when I sat and discussed this with Zakir Bhai, he asked me to pursue this journey seriously, and so in the process I met this gentleman, Pandit Sushil Kumar Jain. He actually accompanied me in one of my solos where I did not have an accompanist. It just so happened. And we got talking, and I loved his thought process. I loved the way he thought, the way and he's an extremely gifted composer as well. So, and he also had a lot of old compositions of the Punjab Gharana. So, I just wanted to make sure that one of the strong messages given to me by Abbaji was to preserve his talim and the legacy of the Punjab Gharana as deeply and as detailed as possible. So all these efforts basically ahead went into achieving this, and the process is still on. Learning is a never-ending journey. And so I'm still trying to find more, still trying to discover more, still trying to create more, and trying to see, where this goes. So I'm on the path still.
Wonderful. Debashish Da, you're a 2-time Grammy nominee. We'd like you to tell us about the albums or performances you've been nominated for, so that those who have not heard the albums or pieces can actually go and check them out, please.
First nomination was, I think it was 2007. Or 2009, I don't remember the year, but 2009 probably. But by that time I have already made 3 very standalone different instruments which create like a 3 different artists on stage of 3 different subjects. So I started composing and recording in studios, and once I thought that why should not I create a album, and the album was released by World Music Network, Riverboat Records in London, and the next November I got an email that it has been nominated for Grammy. So that album is a very interesting one. This album has Indian classical Drupadi compositions and performances, as well as the combined cultures like Spanish, flamenco, African, Indian, Middle Eastern, all sorts of different cultural combination in compositions and sounds. So that was called Calcutta Slide Guitar 3. And then when I was introduced by Ustad ji to John ji and played in Remember Shakti in Sharmakhanand, and then the album came out. After that, I did some tours, and then John ji really loved my instrument Gandharvi, which I am bringing for this beautiful concert you have invited us to play. So he wrote a composition I performed for his album Floating Point. So that owned another nomination. So this is the real story about 2 nominations.
Lovely. Taufiq bhai, how much of the djembe, tabla, jugalbandi is planned and rehearsed? How much of it is impromptu is what I want to know from you.
See, basically, we are going to meet, I think once Debashish bhai is here on the 7th, we will meet and plan with him what we need to accompany him, how it's going to go. But between me and Yogesh bhai, we never plan anything. We've learned together under Abbaji, sat together and learned. We just sit on the stage and just go with the flow. और जो भी होता है वो वहीं पकता है. हम लोग पहले से पका के नहीं लाते. बट देवाशीष भाई के लिए थोड़ा कोशिश करेंगे कि पहले से बना के लेके आए, मतलब एटलीस्ट इंग्रेडिएंट्स बना के लेके आए, और वहां पे जो फिर इंग्रेडिएंट्स को लेके जो पकेगा वो तो वहीं पकेगा. लेकिन योगेश भाई और मैं तो हमेशा ऐसे ही चलते हैं. See, Hrishi K, that's the beauty of Indian classical music.
Correct.
You need not meet, but when you meet, then you meet in a way where people feel that they must be meeting often.
Absolutely.
And I love that you liken it to cooking. Food and Hindustani classical.
देखिए, गाना और खाना यही तो चाहिए जिंदगी में, गाना बजाना और खाना.
Correct.
उस्ताद थिरकवा खां साहब बोला करते थे कि जिंदगी में क्या चाहिए, 2 बोटी और 1 रोटी.
Beautiful. My last question is to Debashish Da. Just talk a little bit about the space, the studio theatre, its flexible stage, the integrated Dolby Atmos surround sound system. It's a very, very unique space. I'd like you to comment on it.
Basically, when this invitation came to perform in this space, my daughter Anandi Bhattacharya, who really told me that this is a very highly equipped and fantastic space. And by that time, I was already planning to do a show of the 4 instruments in Kolkata, in Shobhabajar Rajbari. And so my daughter asked me, why don't you play those 4 instruments first time in Mumbai and take blessings from all the audiences and your fellow musicians. So I just saw some videos of this beautiful studio. I think this is a huge contribution by NMACC to bring such 3 studios. There is a cube, and then the grand space.
And yes.
So this is a huge contribution, because most of us, like Taufiq Bhai, Yogesh Bhai, and many of us, we travel around the world since almost 40 years now. And we have seen just people and the sound guy having a iPad and doing the whole sound check in 15 minutes. And we thought, well, when we will have those kind of facilities in India? So this is one of the big steps, has brought those amazing comfort zone for the artists on stage. And I'm really, really looking forward, Hrishikesh Bhai, to perform. And, I'm so excited because of, first of all, Taufiq Bhai and Yogesh Bhai are such stalwarts that if I look at them, they will start playing it before I pluck my instruments. So they are phenomenal artists. They are not only drummers; they are complete 360-degree iconic musicians. And all those things has came from the lineage of Abbaji and Zakir ji, and all these things are just different units of those aura or those love and those gratitude towards music. And my instruments are really waiting to have their blessings and kisses from them. And I'm just somebody said, why we don't see you often on stage? I said, well, my 55 years, my instruments are on my lap. How can you think a nanny can go for socializing? My lap guitars are on my lap all the time. And they are really little child for me. And I'm looking for some compositions I have already created. I will share with my great brothers. And we would definitely are going to do something special, not regular concert.
Lovely.
So that is my wishes from my gurus, from my great elders, and from all of your love and affection. Let us make that a new chapter with the Chaturang, with these great stalwarts.
Last few tickets are going out. NMACC.com or book my show. You can get onto those platforms and buy those tickets. It's at the Studio Theatre, March the 9th. Showtime is 8 p.m. This is going to be exceptional. It's Chaturang, a dynamic blend of melody and rhythm. 4 distinctive string instruments, Chaturangi, Gandharvi, Pushpaveena and Anandi. It's their combined showcase alongside the intricate percussive interplay of djembe and tabla, which is going to have Debashish Da, Taufiq Qureshi, Yogesh Samsi. Please go and give this a lot of love at the NMACC. Thank you so much. What a wonderful way to start my week by speaking to the four of you, three of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yogesh Bhai.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Hrishi K, for having us. Thank you for having us. And of course, these kind of things which you do, they help our cause also, because we are doing classical music, which is not a popular form of music like Bollywood, but because of efforts of people like you, it spreads to a larger audience. Thank you very much.
That's very kind of you. Thank you so much, sir.
94.3 Radio 1.